For me, I think I agree with everything that y'all said. I think when you get into, I think the thing that's missing in monogamous relationships is the village, like Van was talking about earlier. I think that we get into relationships with people and we think, and we put a lot of pressure on them to give us every single thing that we need, when really, like, like for instance, you like Van was saying, you have friends of the opposite sex before you get into a monogamous relationship, and then when you get into that person expects you to cut those relationships. And I feel like people need to be more open-minded about that. I don't think there's anything wrong with the opposite sex being friends when they're in relationships. You just have to set boundaries, and not do things that you would do with your partner, with your friend. But having somebody there to support you and stuff when your partner isn't able to is something that I think we need to start implementing in monogamous relationships. And maybe people won't feel like they have to get in non-monogamous relationships. Like, it doesn't necessarily got to be romantic. It can be platonic friendships. It could be, like, for instance, like your best friend supporting you, maybe like how people like to joke about the work husbands and her work wives and stuff like that. I don't think that there's nothing wrong with that unless they cross the line. And that's, unless you don't trust your partner, unless they gave you a reason to not trust them, I don't see the problem with people being friends with the opposite sex and keeping those friends, because that can benefit your relationship in the long run. Like, I feel like we should start creating villages within our relationships, within our family, friends, whatever. We need to start bringing people together and being supportive to one another. For instance, I've been seeing a lot of Tubi movies where couples have been like going on trips and stuff like that to be supportive to one another. And of course, on movies like that, there's going to be drama because this person is sleeping with this person, the baby not yours, he your homeboys, and a lot of that stuff can be avoided if people are setting boundaries within those relationships and being upfront and honest with their partner about certain things. For instance, if your wife does have a friend that you find attractive or whatever, and maybe that's something that you've been struggling with, you haven't made any moves on her yet, or nothing like that, you haven't made it obvious, but let's say you having those feelings and you feel like talking to her will kind of help you get through that situation. I feel like if your spouse comes to you about something like that, you should be open-minded about it, because people it can happen. It can happen as long as they're not acting on it, as long as it's something that's not like causing that person to be distracted for real. But like, if it's just a little something, I just feel like you should be open-minded when it comes to your partners. Maybe maybe it wasn't your friend, maybe he was out at the strip club and he in a moment, or she was at the strip club and had a moment of weakness where it was like, I could have cheated on you, like I had the desire to this. I think when we talk about stuff like that more, it makes it less detrimental to our relationships, because we make it more normal, because it is normal. Like, you may be in a relationship with somebody else, but sometimes you do have desires for other people, and it may not be something that's deep. It may be something that's fleeting or whatever. I feel like you should be able to talk about things like that with your spouse. So